Hi everyone. I wanted to quickly walk through this application that I made in Max MSP that I use in tandem with this thing, which is called the SPD-sx. It's basically 6 pads. The top ones are a little bit less sensitive, but they also can be used basically like a drum trigger. And I will have probably talked a little bit about it, but that hooks up into my computer here just through a USB, and then I'm using this little control guide to control some of the parameters in the patch. So I probably won't go into the depths of it because it's boring computer stuff, but basically I can take any audio like wave file, usually like a whole piece. So for example, I'll use this piece by Roomful of Teeth called Render. You can hear a little bit of it. It's super sustained, doesn't really change keys per se, and no matter where you kind of drop the needle in the track, it ends up sounding like it's kind of part of the same thing, which is really handy, at least for one version of using this. So there's a bunch of parameters, but I think the best way to actually figure it out is to just hear what it does through this contraption over here. So it's basically short to long, and then it's either cycling through or just staying on the same thing, so like kind of a beat repeat. So this one is the short, and it cycles through. And I'll actually go up here so you can hear and see everything. So this is the short one that cycles through. And then there's a longer version. So you can hear it's taking out little slices of the track. And right now I have it set to cycle around 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And doing 7s and 9s is really fun if you're playing in 4s or 3s, just because it has a kind of displacement thing to it. And also when you're switching between the longer ones. So like I said, short, less short, and then this last one is basically like a big reverby long thing, almost like a sustained or a freeze verb, which is really fun. And then we have the beat repeat version. So that's staying on the same sample, starting at the same place, and then you can hear how when it gets longer, it actually sounds really different, but it starts in the same place. So. And then what's been really fun for performances is I found like a tempo matching algorithm type thing. So I can go, and then it keeps going. I can do another beat repeat, and then it matches whatever length you hit most recently. So you can hear that, and hitting it again turns it off. These two are more control parameters. So if I'll set this going. So that's going. This actually changed the cue of where it's starting. The 7 are starting. So I think of that as almost like a different section, or it's like you can almost think of it as like different chord changes that it's taking out of the sample. And then the last thing up here is it's basically an N-harmonic pitch shifter. This is playing back samples. There's an algorithm you can use so that it stays. It's an N-harmonic relationship rather than a straight ratio relationship. So you can hear that. So that went up. It's randomized. It just went down. So like a Russian bass vibe to it, which is really fun. So I could set that to specific chord changes. Right now I just have it to random, so it's more interactive. But yeah, so that's the basic setup, and then I have a bunch of control parameters. So if I want the long to be really long, I can do that. that. That's 1.5 seconds, or it can be the long can be shorter, or the short can be really short. So if I take, that makes an interesting effect is that the shorter it gets, the less you recognize the sample. So really exploiting that idea of obscuring the original source. And obviously it gets more percussive. Then I have like filter stuff if I want to filter the sound. Another handy one is if we're doing like I can turn the reverb up, so it turns into a big sloppy thing. And then I also have delay, which is pretty simple, but you can end up getting pretty interesting effects when you're doing it in tandem with beat repeat. And then when you get to the really short, it almost makes it more of a synthesized electronic sound when you keep the delay like really, really short. Which is fun, especially when you put the filter on, it kind of turns into like a weird subby synth bass thing. So like I said, obscuring the source. The last feature is what I guess I'd call like a granulizer, or like a granular stopper. So you can imagine if you have the choir singing and you just have them stop and stay on a note, you can kind of do that through this feature. And then I can kind of buffer through wherever it is in the song. So that sounds like this. And changing the pitch. So this is back to the normal tempo. So it sounds like it just stops. And then if I use this cue thing, that you can basically have it hop around. So that one can be a little obnoxious, but again, if you wanted to do the chord changes, you could basically have it cycle through different kind of enharmonic relationships in a set order. So it's a lot of potential, and that's just one example of the type of music you can use in it. Choral stuff works really well. I also have found that there's this great marimba piece that basically is in the same key that I use all the time. Where is it though?